Hi guys, so I'm live. How you guys doing? So my phone finally loaded. I changed my email all around, and it had to. My phone had to catch up to all that and update everything, so I can finally use my phone again to film. I can actually go on YouTube on my phone, and I can film live on my phone for the first time in a bunch of days. So I'm live. I'm on my walk, so it's like a walk rant. How you guys doing? I just want to do a few updates and talk about a little bit about music theory as well. My updates about some of that. So I just did the song "Yank My Chain." I hope you guys like it. The moderator might come over tonight or tomorrow morning to record it with me. We can go live on the green screen. We'll probably also do etheric tremors. That's the instrumental that I wrote that we like. And we can record hopefully tonight or tomorrow morning when he comes over. And I really like that song. What I was going for was a Black Boy Blues feel, but not the same. Not a carbon copy of Black Boy Blues, but that kind of feel, that raw rap, punk, rock and roll, heavy metal, just all in one thing, and just kind of has attitude and stuff. And I like the new song for that. And interestingly enough, ever the drama king I am, or whatever you want to call me, just as I was writing Yank My Chain, it turns out that Warren DeMartini actually sent me a contract. I've never gotten a contract from any of these people that have emailed me, called me on private numbers, nothing. Warren, and thank you so much for that, Warren. I appreciate that. Just when I just gave up, in fact, I'm writing songs about how I just don't care, or I'm making light of it, or just giving up about it, or whatever. Here comes a contract. So I did my part as far as I can tell. I signed it, dated it. It's got to be signed by Warren/Rad and dated, and signed by a witness and dated. And I hope I did it right, Warren. I signed my name, I put the date, and then I sent it. I shared it with you. So I think when I shared it, I hope that comes across as I signed it on your end. So I'm really excited about that. Rat, fuck, you guys realize that? I mean, that's I'm going to be doing a thing on the 4th of July and maybe the 3rd of July as well. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man. I mean, that is why we start playing guitar, right? It isn't just to play till we drop and nothing happened. So thank you, Warren. And it turns out Brad Gillis, you know that guy, how great Brad Gillis is? He's a fan of mine. It turns out. Warren told me. And then this guy from the Scorpion, I think it was another guy I should have remembered. But anyway, when I heard Brad Gillis is a fan of mine, I just thought, holy mackerel. That guy covered for that guy took over guitar for Ozzy after Randy died. I mean, and playing in Night Ranger, and that guy's a fan of mine. So I'm really thank you, Brad. You may not know what that means to me. I was really cool. The way he held that one note at the end of his solo. The solo on "Speak of the Devil" to "Suicide Solution" with guitar cadenza. When Ozzy picks him up by the leg, puts him back down, he pretends to hit him, but doesn't really hit him. And Brad just plays a flurry of notes, and then he just plays one note. And it just like carries for like 15 seconds, just that one note. It's just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in rock and roll. Is that note he held, his last note of the Suicide Solution cadenza. Not cadenza, but the actual his solo to Suicide Solution that's in the song. So he's a fan of mine. That's really cool. So anyway, looking forward to that, and jamming with Rat, touring and everything. They laid the whole contract out for me. It's very nice. I like it and I appreciate it more. And not to mention, and also Warren, you were my favorite person in Rat. You and Stephen Piercy, but I think I like you better because you're like the guitar player, and you're the cool guitar player because you played the fast stuff. Robin Crosby just played the melodic stuff, but you were you played the shredding stuff, and you were the lead guitarist for Rat, and that's really cool. Thank you for taking interest in me and taking the initiative and following through and actually sending me a contract. I mean, I was really just thinking this is all, and all of a sudden now I get a contract. So that's very cool, Warren. Thank you. The way you do your vibrato, your George Lynch Warren DeMartini vibrato, where it's like a classical vibrato. You're almost sliding, but you're not really using it as slides. You're using it as a vibrato. I still don't do that. maybe you'll teach me the trick. I teach his own. I mean, that's a really awesome technique. It looks cool. It looks like you're like really, it looks cool and it sounds great. So, and just the leads you had in Rat, I actually don't know all the Rat. I don't know how to play all the Rat songs right now, but I've got a few things under my belt that I think I can use to my advantage. First of all, I understand more instead of the 80s, that he understood the notes, and I feel the same way now. I understand the notes. I get the gist of rock and roll, and if the song is in whatever key it's in, and I know the riffs, I know the chords, and even if that isn't 100% or not necessary, I have a feeling I'm going to be playing a lot of lead. And when the lead comes, I really feel like I'll do a good job on the leads at the very least. I know my notes, I know my scales and my technique and all that. And sure, I may not know all the songs right now, but I'm going to start learning them. And even up until I do learn them, I'm still useful as a lead guitarist, I have a feeling, because and the rhythm parts, I'll just learn as many songs as I can. Starting now, and but I get the groove of rock and roll. I get the attitude. I get the look. I get the vibe, and I get the shredding, the soloing, and I get the performance. I like. I genuinely like being on stage. I've been on stage about 100 times in my life. Take it or leave it. That's what I've done, and I enjoy it. I really do. It's a really great feeling. So now, having said all that, I just want to talk about some music theory. I said I would do that. I've upgraded my music theory a little bit, and I'm happy about it. I like to share it. Love you. I like to share it with you guys. It's important to me, because saying you don't care about music theory would be kind of like saying you're a writer but you don't care about rhetoric. I don't care about grammar. I just write. Well, you may not write well. So, my updating of my music theory is I'd like to discuss with you guys. So, I've been thinking about what note to make the top note in the circle of fifths for my analysis, and what and all that. So we started with C major. C's at the top. White keys are C major scale, but that doesn't work because it's better to do A minor. And someone said that's my favorite key, and they're making us a joke about it, a pun or something. But A minor is actually better than C major, because from A minor you could always sharp to the you can always sharp to A major, the parallel major, and you can always go down to you can always sharp to A major, the parallel major, and you can always go down to C major, the relative major. Whereas if you start in the major key, you're not likely to do anything minor. You're not likely to flat anything. Once you start in C major, it sounds too pretty. It's just too immaculate. Nobody wants to flat anything down to relative minor, or worse, maybe even worse, the parallel minor. But if you start with minor, A minor, let's say, and make that the top of the circle of fifths, well, you can always, like I said, you can go to the parallel major, just make 3 sharps, but stay on A, or go down to C major, same number, no sharps or flats, but down a minor third, up a minor third to C major, the relative major. So there's that, and I thought about that for a while, and that's better than using C. But then it hit me. That's a kind of a rhyme there. On my walk yesterday, don't use C or A, use D as in dog, Dorian. Well, use the D as the starting point. It has the minor of the A, but it has the major scale home bass feel of the C. It's like all in one. It's the best scale to use as an anchor scale, and since all the white keys make a D Dorian mode, I use D at the top of the circle of fifths for me. So naturally, D, F, D, A, E, B would be 3 flats, and D, G, C, F would be, D, G, D, A, E, D, B would be 3 sharps, D, A, E, B. B Dorian would be 3 sharps, and that's clockwise 3 major, 3 perfect fifths, and then counterclockwise, D, F major, no, F Dorian would be three flats. So, and then at the top is D Dorian, no sharps, no flats. So I'm using D as my anchor point, and I use the note D. As 12 o'clock on the circle of fifths, and Dorian mode is the main. And that makes sense for several reasons. I'm going to talk about that right now, and then I'll let you guys go if you guys need to let go. First of all, Dorian is the primary rock mode. I mean, I've played rock a while, and mixed Lydian is great, but it tends to want to flat down to Dorian, and Aeolian is great, but it tends to want to sharp up to Dorian. And Aeolian isn't really rock and roll; it's more. Not usually. It's usually ballads and classical stuff, and then Phrygian isn't really rock and roll. That's usually either gypsy music or maybe sometimes classical harmonic minor type stuff. And then Lydian isn't really rock and roll. It's more like dreamy, majestic sounding stuff like movie soundtracks, and sometimes jazz. And B is Locrian. That's definitely not the start. That's got the flat 5. It's one of the most dissonant modes. So Dorian mode, D is the top of the circle of fifths for me. And another source I have for that. Is Alan Holdsworth. I met Alan Holdsworth at Catalina Bar and Grill in Hollywood in 1997 or 1998. And he told me when I was talking about him about theory, he said to base everything on D, and he answered me that question in person. I was always talking about my theories for about 15 or 20 minutes, and he said start it on D. And then he did a video, instruction video, in 1992 with Alfred music lessons, and he said everything in D also. He for himself, he bases everything on D. And the 4 scales he uses that are permutations of what we call the harmonic minor, harmonic major, major scale, and melodic minor are all just different permutations of a Dorian mode or major scale starting on D. So that's my new thing. I'm going to base everything on D, and I've got my head around. There's 12 Dorian modes in music. There's 12 notes in the chromatic scale, so there's 12 Dorian modes available, and I get it. And I'm going to base everything on that because when I go to play, really, most of the time I end up saying, "What key am I in?" and let's use Dorian mode. I just usually Dorian. This is my favorite mode. And the third, even more justification for this is that I was stabbed in the back by a guy named Dorian 30 years ago, in 1995, and it was like a message to me or something. Pay attention to Dorian. I don't know. A lot of D's in my life, a lot of Dorian, Doria, Dora, Doris, Daria, and all that. I've met people, plus Dorian, they hit me in the back. So it's got a name. It's got an energy. Especially since I rock and roll. So we got